Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Merry Christmas to everyone. Today's video we're going to be talking about Jesus. We're going to be talking about Christmas. We're going to be talking about the whole point of Christmas and just going over everything related to Christianity, and going to be tying all of that to business, especially our business here at cryptollc.org. So if you're interested in that, you know what to do. Hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel. All right, let's get started. So this is the day after Christmas. Not really Christmas anymore, but in today's video, we just wanted to talk about how we at Crypto LLC, how we do business, how we think about Christianity, and what Christianity actually is. Because obviously, a lot of people celebrate Christmas, and they celebrate it from the point of view of family, Santa Claus, the elves, the Christmas spirit, and all that mumbo jumbo. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about the actual point of Christianity, the whole point of why Jesus came, right? Why did he come? What was he trying to fix, I would say, or you can use a different word of what was he trying to achieve in his life here on earth? And we're going to be talking about all of that. So let's get started. So Jesus, right? Who is Jesus? So we're going to start off from that and just kind of go off into, I guess, various angles of it, because it could take forever to talk about everything at who Jesus is and what he came for and all of that. But I'm going to be going off the top of my head, so hopefully it makes sense to everyone that's watching here. All right, so who is Jesus, right? So Jesus, first of all, is the Son of God. He is God. Why did Jesus come to the earth? He came to the earth because he came to save his people. His people meaning Christians, the ones that would believe. He came to save them. Now, why did he come to save them? He came to save them because they can't save themselves. So we're going to be talking about that. So first of all, we're going to start from the very beginning of who or why are humans incapable of saving themselves? What are they saving themselves from, or are trying to? And why Jesus came to fix that. So first of all, we as human beings here, we are just living our lives. Take an average person, he just lives for himself, right? Everything revolves around him. Especially in the United States, you have a lot of individuality culture, and that individuality culture produces humans that are just self-centered. They only care about themselves. The world revolves around them. For them, there is no God. They are God. They make up their own destiny. They have their own ideas and thoughts and reason and all of that, because in their head there is nothing more important than themselves. And that is the average person on this planet, right? He lives for himself. Sometimes you can change that a little bit, where maybe a person lives for their family, but it's still themselves, or they live for their job, it's still themselves. It's either they're trying to get bring up their ego, maybe they care about this or that, but it's all of it. At the end of the day, it's all about themselves. And because humans are just sinners, right? Without God, we are all sinners. In the Bible, it says that all fell short, right? For the glory of God, all fell short. No one can do that. No one can achieve that. No one can be perfect. And then it says no one is searching for God, right? No one is looking for God, right? Because no one needs God in the average person's mind. Why would you need a God? And so we're going to start off with that. That's who humans are from the very, very, very beginning, when the first humans appeared on earth, right? That first sin. After that, every single person is born like that. Every single person searches for only his own gratification, only his own worldview, the only one that's proper in their mind, and all of that. That's how people are. So if a person thinks like that, which we all do, right? And God has his rules. God has his law, right? God has his 10 commandments. God has his overall, like the number one law for God is, he says that you should love your God, right? Above everything. That's the number one. And so you can ask a person, like, do you love God? And a person, usually most people will just say, like, oh, well, I don't really care. I never thought about it. I don't really, it's not something I'm interested in. I have my own life. I have my goals. I have my ambitions. I have my reason. I have my family. I have my job. I have my health. Everything comes before God, right? All of that. So God is not number one. Everything else is. And so how do you fix that? How do you fix that problem? Because when a person like that, eventually we all die and we come to God for judgment, right? When a person like that comes to God for judgment, how is he going to, how is he going to, I would say, like, pay for that, right? There's like a debt due. How are you going to pay for that? You committed all these sins. You didn't live for God. You didn't care about God. You didn't love God. God was nothing to you. You lived for yourself, and then eventually you died. You come to God on judgment. How are you going to pay for that? And the answer is you can't, right? You can't pay for that. Give you like an example of what type of payment God is looking for, right? God is perfect, so he demands perfection. So the number one, the one question God will just probably ask people that come to judgment is, were you perfect? Did you ever make one sin? Just one. And everyone did. So everyone that comes to that judgment fell short, right? Everyone fell short. No one can fulfill the law. No one can do that. And the one way that you can pay for that is if that someone that can make the payment can do it for you. So let's say you're living on Earth, like we all live on Earth, and let's say across the galaxy, millions and trillions of miles away, there's a planet there, and there's a certain ore there, a certain compound there, and you need to pay for your sins, you need to take 1,000,000 tons of that ore and then pay for right? No one can do that. No one can fly over there and complete that task, right? In your lifetime, you can't do it. Only someone that has access to that, like, it's impossible. It's a payment. The whole point of this example is it's a payment you can't make. It's not a payment that you can maybe in your lifetime create a penny and bring it to God and be like, yeah, I didn't pay the whole thing, but I got a penny. I got 1 penny. No, you can't even get a smidget. You can't even get a molecule of that payment. You can't get anything from that, right? You cannot pay a single atom of that payment. It cannot be made because it is located on the different side of the universe, and it's a compound that you cannot get. So the one that can make that payment, the one that can do that would be Jesus. That is why Jesus came. So God knew that humans cannot pay for that, right? They cannot pay for themselves, right? They can't become perfect. So God sent someone that can. And that perfect being, that perfect human was Jesus. So when Jesus came to this earth, he came perfect. He never committed sin. And so when he comes to God and he says, that person over there, that Kyle, that Jennifer, right? That Adam or Steve or Mary or that, whoever else, I will pay for them. Here is my payment. The payment is sufficient because Jesus is perfect. And so when God looks at your life, your Kyle, he doesn't see your life. He sees Jesus's life because Jesus's life overlaps yours. Jesus says, I will pay for him. Kyle is my guy, right? I went to the cross and I made that payment. The payment that Kyle could never make, I made it for him. And so from that day on, Kyle is saved. Kyle is, he's on his way to heaven, right? He's on his way to be with Jesus, to be with God. And God accepts Kyle. God accepts him to heaven. And so now Kyle is saved once and forever. So that's how that works. And I want to talk a little bit about how Jesus came also into earth. All right. He came to this planet in such a way where no one can say anything negative about Jesus too. You notice how Jesus came. He didn't come as a king. He didn't come as, a general's son. He didn't come with like honor. He didn't come with money. He didn't come in some rich person's home. He didn't even come to some middle class home. He came to an average guy's home, right? It's just Joseph and Mary. He came to an average man's home. And not only that, he wasn't born in a let's say, Joseph, he wasn't rich, but Jesus was born in this fancy house. No. Not only was he born into a family that's not rich or has honorable status, not a celebrity. He also came into that family at a time when they were traveling and Mary gave birth in basically like a basement, or some people depict it as like a barn. It's probably like a barn or a basement of a sold out hotel, or like maybe like an apartment complex, whatever it was back then. The whole point is he was born into a building that had no wealth. They didn't have any honor. They didn't have any status. They didn't have any celebrity value. He wasn't born like, okay, maybe his dad's not the king, but the king accepted Mary and she gave birth in his palace. Nope. He was born in such poverty, right? In such a location, at such a time. All of this is on purpose. It's on purpose for us humans to then look at Jesus, and then no one can say, well, I can't relate to Jesus because I'm Joe, I'm a regular Joe, and Jesus is this celebrity, or this honorable, or this born in a general's family, or born in a palace. I can't relate to him. So we can see how Jesus was making all of these situations, right? His situation in life, the way he was born, his father Joseph and mother Mary, and everything. You can see that his whole life was all built in such a way where no one can say anything, right? No one can say, I can't relate to Jesus. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And all of that was done on purpose, so no one can say anything in the future. So now we look at Jesus, no one can say, I can't relate. Yes, you can. Yes, you can relate. And then we look at Jesus's qualities, right? The perfection of Jesus as he came. How was he treated? Very, very poorly, right? How was he treated by his apostles, right? They betrayed him, right? They betrayed him. Not only that, but before he actually had, he had only his 12 apostles. Before then, he had hundreds following him, and all of them abandoned him, and only 12 stayed. And out of those 12, one was just a straight up traitor. And then when he went to the garden, only 3 followed, right? And then when he went to the cross, only 1 was there. So you could see how throughout his life, all he had was people that ran away from him. When it got hard for Jesus, when it became hard for him to, getting ready for the cross and everything, all he had around him was traitors. That's it. They betrayed him. And I see myself in that, right? I see myself in that. And this is all examples for all of us that following Jesus is going to be hard. And a lot of times it gets so hard for some people that they can be like Apostle Paul, not Apostle Paul, Apostle Peter. They can be like Apostle Peter and betray him, right? And say, I never knew him, or various situations. And again, all of this is to show the weakness of human beings, to show the strength of Jesus, to show the mercy of Jesus, to show how, that we are incapable, that he is capable. All of this is done on purpose. I just want to get that point across to you guys. All of this is done on purpose. So Jesus is perfect, we're not. We're sinners, he's not. He's perfect, he's righteous, he's merciful. We can't fulfill any of those, godly characteristics to the fullest. And we as Christians, we try our best, but we can't do it. We can't be like that until we get to heaven, right? And all of that. So there's so much to talk about, but I don't want to make this video. It's already like 12 minutes, I think, for my camera here. I don't want to make it like super long, but hopefully you guys get the idea. And then I wanted to tie this with business. So we at Crypto LLC, right? We have Jesus is first, right? And business is like second or third or fourth. You have family, you have Jesus, right? Number 1. You have family, you have your own spiritual situation, right? And if you have problems in your life, you want to work on those, you want to fix those, and all of that, and I just wanted to point that out, that for us, like, we don't worship money at Crypto LLC, right? We don't bow down to money, we don't worship money, we don't worship our business. We try our best to be the best we can, but business is not God, right? There's only one God. That's the God of the Bible, and business is not our God. And so we wanted to really point that out to our clients. We got a lot of clients that signed up for us with North Dakota, and we always say, Jesus is number 1, right? He's number 1 for us, and we're gonna try our best to be the best we can at Crypto LLC. You know why? Because we got Jesus. We have Jesus that's watching us, and Jesus wants us to be perfect. And Jesus talks, and the Bible talks about being a good steward of of money, right? To be a good steward, to be a good example, to if you have a client that comes in and he buys a megawatt of North Dakota or half a megawatt, we want to be the very, very best to take care of their miners as best as we can. Why do we do that? Because at Crypto LLC, we fear God, right? We fear God. So we want to be the best examples that we can. We want to have the best business that we can. We try our very, very, very best here at Crypto LLC because we have the fear of God. And I wanted to give you guys an example of like Crypto LLC, as a business where we fear God, we try our best, versus a company doesn't care about their customers. And one of those companies is that Honey extension. You guys probably read it in the news, that Honey extension. Watch some videos of people looking into how their business practices are done, and I wanted to show you guys a contrast here. So for Honey, they have an extension where they're going to find you the best coupons for the cheapest ones online, and or the ones that give you the best kickbacks, right? The best coupons, the best off, like 20% off, 30% off, all that. And how they did it was they basically were lying to people, not telling them the whole truth. How they were doing that is they were going in when you applied your Honey coupon, it was replacing the cookie link, or not a link, but the cookie that's saved into the browser. It's replacing it with their own cookie. So basically, when you click on, yes, I want to pay for this, Honey would then replace that cookie with their own, which means that they get the commission. So instead of the commission going to some sort of company that's promoting, whatever, their website or their YouTube channel, instead of the commission going to them that they actually helped sell the product, the commission went to Honey. And what Honey did was it didn't tell anyone about that, right? It was lying to people, right? It was, you can say, well, they weren't actually lying. Yes, they were, right? Omitting information for mischievous, behind closed doors, sneaky little deals where you're being like a little snake and stealing money from people like that. That's theft, right? That's just theft. That's stealing, and that's what they were doing. And so now there's a lot of YouTubers that are going out there and they're digging into those cookies and looking at them and looking at their link, looking at the coupons that they're generating. They're realizing a lot of these coupons are fake. A lot of these coupons are a lie. They're made up. They're replacing their cookie. They're stealing commission. And then it's all based on lies. And so I'm looking at that company and I'm like, okay, if they had the fear of God, would they be doing that? Right? If they were 100% pure, hardcore, Christians that love Jesus above everyone else, would they be committing those crimes, right? Would they be stealing like that? No, they wouldn't be. They wouldn't be, because they would fear Jesus. They would fear God. They don't want to do that. They don't want to have God curse them, right? They don't want to have the consequences of that. Not only that, they wouldn't do that because they love Jesus, right? It's not even that you fear God. It's like, why would you do that to someone you love, right? You love God, right? You love Jesus. Why would you do something against the one you love, right? So that's like the attitude. It's not that, like, I'm never scared really of God having consequences on my life. It's not that I'm scared of that, personally. It's that I don't want to do that because I love Jesus, right? I love God. Why would I do that? You know what I mean? It's like, why would you do that? Like, if you love your wife or your husband with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind and all that, why would you be, doing bad things to them or whatever? You're not going to be doing that because you love them. And so the same thing here. So looking at that Honey and what they did, I think is a great example of a company that only cares about money. And they were just trying to maximize their bottom line at the expense of everyone else. And they have no fear of God. They don't care. All they care about is money. Their God is money. At Crypto LLC, our God is Jesus. And so we try our very, very best. So for all the clients that did jump in with North Dakota, we wanted to say Merry Christmas to all you guys. We want to say thank you for jumping in with us, for doing your due diligence, looking into the contracts. Some of them actually went to North Dakota and they checked it out and they like it and all that. So we're happy for you. We're happy that things are working out, and we just want to tell you that we're going to try our very best to be the best we can here at Crypto LLC, and to give you, the information straight, and to be a great example, and all of that, and and to make things right. Sometimes in business things go wrong, and because we love Jesus and we love God, and we want to make things right. Not because we're trying to like get favors or retain our customers, then all we care about is money, so we make things right because we care about money. No, we make things right because we want to be a great example, right? We want to be a good example of a great Christian company that loves Jesus, and we don't love money. I wanted to make that straight. We're not going to be lying to people or stealing because we're such low lives over here that all we care about is money. We don't. We love Jesus, and obviously, I have a family. I got to pay bills. I got to pay my mortgage. So we're not a non-profit as well. So that's kind of how I wanted to put that out there. And again, Merry Christmas to everyone. Merry Christmas. Christmas is about Jesus. It's not about Santa Claus. It's not about holiday spirit. It's not about, snowmans or whatever. What are those called? Those candies. Oh man, it flew out of my head. That candy, the cane candy. What's the name of it? Anyway, it's not about that. It's not about anything like that. It's all about Jesus. Well, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys like it. And until next time, goodbye.